Our voices, and here I am, Pallab Bose, and this is...
Good evening everyone, and Sat Sri Akal. I am Swedha Singh.
And welcome to the exciting world of the Times of India, and we are going to do something special as we have been doing all these 175 years. Well, Shweta, ladies and gentlemen, my association with the Times of India has been when I was about in my early 20s, that was about almost 24 years ago. I began writing columns and then was a radio jockey on Times FM, which is now Radio Mirchi, and then of course events. And it's a great honor, let me tell you, besides anything else, to be a part of one of the world's biggest brands. And one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that I have learned personally from all these wonderful mentors, that includes especially Mr. Khushwant Singh, who's no more now, that always work with pride. And we are here on stage with a lot of pride and responsibility of presenting something before an audience. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Times of India. Hoping you are having a good time. The wonderful hospitality of Radisson Blu. I'm sure they are taking good care of you. And we are all set. We have a very small 5-10 minute serious presentation, and then of course the networking and the entertainment and the rejuvenation and the good times continue, and that's what we are here for. Shweta, you've been also a part of the Times of India. Femina Miss India. Shweta is a model, she's a stage actress. If you go to Gurgaon's Kingdom of Dreams and you get to see that show, Shweta is one of the lead actresses with Shah Rukh's Kingdom of Dreams shows that happen there. And she's of course a model and an MC with me. A recent find that we've had through the Femina Miss India. And there we are. And Shweta, before we go on to what we are presenting here tonight, I'm sure many of you read the Times of India, the Ludhiana Times of India. Do we all read the Ludhiana Times of India? Yeah. How many of us? Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I have been reading the Times of India for almost 40 years. I'm 44, 45 now. My father introduced me to the Times of India in Kolkata. And the Ludhiana Times of India is a very recent venture. It's just been about 3-4 years old. And you did something very interesting.
Absolutely.
Could you share?
Actually, my association with the Times goes back to the school, and I still remember when Times had published the newspaper, like all the pages in color. And that was such a revolution for the print media sector. And coming back to Ludhiana, I think you've been here quite a few times, I think much more than me.
Well, let me tell you, Shweta, you have been to Ludhiana very recently. I have been coming to Ludhiana for almost 20 years. JLPL Sunar Hills. Rediscover yourself, traveling through a mesmerizing and pleasant journey of heavenly thoughts and nostalgic moments of your life, which will remain unforgettable for you and your dear ones for decades to come. With approximately 80% open and green spaces, experience the euphoric feeling attained by getting submerged in the ecstasy of nature. This is where birds and the wind and the sky and the abode of the gods. As you enter a secured campus with white roads and ornamental streetlights, provides green verdant landscape with pedestrian walkways and natural pine vegetation. These rare masterpieces that you shall see have been crafted specifically for those elite and privileged few who possess an aesthetic taste to life. A Hafiz contractor presentation. Just 39 villas, ladies and gentlemen, and people who shall live there with their dear and near ones shall be brushing shoulders with the rich and the famous of India. We have one villa which is completely ready for you to see. And I think in a few months, we shall be getting the others ready for possession. Behold the magic of the 21st century lifestyle destination in the lap of the gods. A team of international architects and interior decor designers under Mr. Hafiz Contractor has specially crafted